So this is one of our water trucks. They're required to drive one of these water trucks. You have to have a Class B with a tanker endorsement. Our minimum requirements are 1 year experience for drivers to be able to drive it. This is the vacuum pump that we use for loading and unloading off the truck. Usually primarily it's a 110 barrel tank. In order to load a 110 barrel tank, it takes about 15 minutes with the vacuum pump, about the same to offload. Tag axles are to help distribute the weight on the truck evenly. With them down, they're usually the truck's primarily loaded for them down. We have the camera systems for safety. So on most of our trucks, we have a 4-camera system. We have one forward facing, one facing the driver, one off the left side and one out the rear. So at any given time, we can always watch the drivers, watch the traffic around, and so on. We use conductive hose for everything, just in case. The trucks are not allowed to haul any petroleum products in them, but we still use conductive just in case to stop with the friction. The plastic hoses build friction, so anytime water goes through anything, it builds friction. But the conductive hose is grounding and bonding, so anytime we load at a production site, they have grounding reels that we ground to the truck, so the bonded hose completes the circuit of the grounding. We use vent lines. The vent lines come off the scrubber, so if they do get a whiff of condensate, we've got a 70-foot vent line at minimum away from the truck to keep the fumes from getting into the truck and make it run off. We always have, while loading, we have buckets under every point that access that could spill any fluid at all. On the rear of the truck, we have spill pans that make sure anytime we have connections, we have something underneath of it to make sure that we keep no fluid from hitting the ground. Most trucks typically have a 4-inch or 3-inch on the rear. Most production sites that we haul from have 3-inch load points. You can see there's our rear camera. This is one of the older models. We took the rear camera and now moved them down to the rear here so that we can always make sure that we're watching the drivers for any load points to verify if there's any spills or leaks during the loading process. All our trucks are automatics. We found with the automatic transmission, a lot of our older school drivers didn't really care for the automatics, but now that they are driving them, they really do appreciate them. It helps us a lot with maintenance, less rear end tears up, so on clutch, especially with slip seating. It's a lot better on the truck. We have different types of trucks too. Primarily our fleet are Western Stars. We do have Peterbilts and Internationals. The tablet you see in there, that's our ELD and our Geotab for tracking. The transmission selector by the yellow buttons for the brake release. Right off to the left of that, that's the transmission for the automatics. And then below that's the sea level gauge that tells us how much water's in the truck at all time. The Western Stars have a lot of room. The drivers really do like the cab room. So the sea level gauges are just like the ones in the production tanks.
Oh, this here?
Yep.
So it just shows how much is in there?
Yeah, some of them are infrared, some of them's got a stick in them. So that's what tells us what kind of volume we have in the truck too, to help make sure that they don't overload the trucks. Yeah, most of our trucks, like I said, were 110 barrel. Each state or road is different weight requirement wise. So most of the given time, 90 to 95 barrel is a good legal weight for interstates. So most usually, with the lower weight requirements, you can't fill the trucks all the way up. But it also determines on the tag axle. Tag axles give you extra weight requirements. A tractor and trailer, typically our oil tankers that we're getting ready to go, they will haul between 185 to 200 barrel, but condensate's a lot lighter than water. Water around here typically weighs from 8.5 pounds to 9.5 pounds. So, and that's another reason the weight requirements, it's hard for a driver to really know without knowing the weight of the water of what they can put on there, so we always try to stay under the limit to stay from overweights. Tractor trailer water truck usually typically is about 130 barrel, but on the straight trucks anymore they're from 80 barrel to 130 barrel for a straight truck. And what I mean by straight truck, it's like this instead of two-piece tractor and trailer.
Well, what's kind of the little bit of the decision process between? I mean, it obviously depends on what you have in your fleet.
Yeah.
You know, of whether or not you would actually use the
In my opinion, it's secondary roads. So on a secondary road, these are a lot easier to get around than a tractor and trailer. Mm-hmm. Different people have different preferences, but in my opinion, it's a lot easier to get a straight truck around than a tractor and trailer on these secondary roads. If we were running up and down the main road and interstate, tractor trailer would be the way to go. But on secondary roads, straight truck's the best.
Is that the